Everyone, and welcome back to Cabin in the Past Cast, sort of. I'm Thomas and I'm joined with Ollie today.
Hello.
And we are having a look at Prehistoric Planet, Season 2.
Indeed.
A little bit late to this one, but I am, as you would expect, very excited.
Yeah.
The fact that we're getting a season this quick as well indicates that they were definitely expecting this to be good and to go over well, which it did. It's another 5 episodes. Those episode names have been revealed, by the way. So we got episode 1, Islands.
Okay.
Episode 2, Badlands.
Okay.
Episode 3, Swamps.
Sure.
Episode 4, Oceans, which I am very excited for.
That'll be nice.
And then, for the first time, they're breaking the trend, not doing a biome, they're doing a continent. Episode 5, North America.
Okay. Because I was wondering, like, they are going to run out of things eventually.
Yeah. But the only other thing they would be able to do is then, like, actually explore different time periods with those things. But then they couldn't call the episodes the same.
It would be like Arctic 2.
A few base points. So the first season entirely focused on the Maastrichtian.
Yeah.
That is still the case. We are still in the Maastrichtian with this. Some old friends are coming back. Some new friends are showing up, which people were kind of sad that they didn't show the first time around.
Yep.
And yeah, it's cool. There's even a few like reviews on. There's even like a description, I think, for some of the episodes, but we won't look at those because those are spoilers. So without further ado, we'll get into this, and we might have a little look through it and see what I can glean from it and what Ollie can glean from it. So going on go 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes, we did watch the whole first season. It's on the channel. It's in recording issues, but you can go listen to that. More pterosaurs.
Like Tapscotrix, I'm pretty sure. The scary one.
Yep. But now it's got like parrot colours.
Yeah.
I'm more handsome in music, I'm sure.
Oh. Big frog.
Big frog.
Very again, cool. Going with the BBC Planet style of calling it, so instead of So let's just go through that then quickly. So we got Haptogotrix here, and that is pretty conclusively Haptogotrix. There's very few Asdarchids with that skull shape.
Right.
So that was the guy from the 5th episode, Forest, which killed like the little Zomoxes, if you remember.
Yes,
they were, like,
I remember.
The forest floor. Big, scary giraffe macro predators.
Yep.
But shown in a nice naturalistic view here. I would assume that's in islands because
it looks like an island.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's probably from Badlands. This is cool. I don't know what sauropod that would be.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have I have a suspicion. My suspicion is that this is going to be one of the formations from India, which get barely any attention anywhere else in the world outside of India, but are incredibly cool, incredibly under-researched, and also date back to the Maastrichtian. We didn't see it in in season 1. It would be so cool to see them in season 2. There's some very unique animals there, and it would also allow them to talk about the Deccan traps, which is something that was going on at the time as well, which would explain the lava in the background.
Yes, that is a lot of lava. More raptors doing the jumpy jumps?
Yeah, I don't know whether this isn't the same model as the Velociraptor that we saw from season 1. This is
No, it's different.
either a separate raptor or it's a Troodon. It'd be cool to see Troodontids. Another thing that makes me think it's Troodontids as well is the sickle claw is smaller, which is quite a Troodontid trait.
Sure.
And it's hunting small game, but then again, raptors probably also hunted a lot of small game more often than they hunted any large game. Now this is cool. That's Hesperornis. There, at the very top.
Okay.
Which is a flightless aquatic bird which is found in the inland sea of Campanian and I think Maastrichtian. It might be a close relative. We do have other Hesperornids that I know are definitely Maastrichtian. That might show up. There's even a freshwater one actually that lived in Hell Creek, which is always cool. But that's obviously oceans. Little baby there. More plesiosaurs. I don't know who this guy is. This is another raptor or Troodontid.
Yep.
And then that's a T-Rex facing off against Quetzalcoatlus.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is going to be very cool. And it looks like, judging by the creature that's beside it, it's a what's the name? Alamosaurus, which is the big invasive sauropod from the end of the Cretaceous in North America. North America lost all of its sauropods in the middle of the Cretaceous. It didn't have any for most of the latter half of the Cretaceous, and then all of a sudden we get one massive sauropod at the very end of the period, Alamosaurus, which probably came from South America. That's where its closest relatives are.
Okay.
Asia, I suppose, because I think Titanosaur cladistics at the moment are a bit unstable. So depending on who you classify as its closest relatives, either South America or Asia.
I see.
But it altered the habitat in North America quite a bit. It was big. And there was basically nothing that could hunt. Not even the T-Rex could really hunt it because it didn't have the necessary specializations to hunt sauropods.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably did happen with younger individuals, but for an animal this size, because that looks like the neck there, probably not.
Looks huge.
Yeah. And we get our old friend back from season 1, Beelzebufo.
The big frog.
The big frog. This time, almost certainly frog. Going after one of the two sauropods from Madagascar. That would be either Rapidosaurus or Vinny.
It's trying to attack it?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it won't succeed. It's a very big sauropod.
Yeah, unless it can, like, I don't know, bite it once and it's incredibly poisonous, but...
We do not believe that Beelzebufo was poisonous.
So it's just
cool if it was.
A big dumb frog.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they initially found it, they thought it was Pac-Man frog, but it's not a Pac-Man frog. It just sort of looks like a Pac-Man frog.
Fair.
And Pac-Man frogs can be mildly poisonous, but they're not venomous.
Yes.
So unless the sauropod was eating it, which would be a cool thing to show, because again, look at videos of cows eating like baby birds and stuff.
Yep. Not terrifying at all.
Yeah. Speaking of baby birds, there's the pond in Horsham. In Horsham Park, it's a bunch of ducklings at the moment.
Yeah,
which was nice to see when I was out on a walk today. So yeah. That's looking very good and very interesting. We also saw what's the name? the polar Tyrannosaurus again. That's not its name.
Olosaurus.
It's got no. Its name means polar bear lizard, but it's in a native language.
Hmm.
The Nyctosaurus, that's it. With a little hatchling, which is also the one of the cover images for this. So that's cool. Get more stuff with the Arctic. I assume that will probably come with if that's going to come anywhere, that's going to come with episode would that come with North America, I'd assume, because the others don't really fit.
Yeah.
So just a quick speculation, I suppose, on like the other stuff we can see. Islands is interesting. There's very few Maastrichtian islands that they can pick from. Although there are, to be fair, there are more islands in the Maastrichtian that they could use than any other time period. You've got Hatseg Island, in Romania. You've got the various European islands.
Yep.
So potentially we might be going to France and Spain, which would be cool to see. And we've got Madagascar. Those would be the three that would spring immediately to my mind. You could possibly get away with using India in that, although India is more of a subcontinent, but it was in the middle of the ocean at this point. Badlands. Potentially back to we might potentially be going back to South America in that. There was lots of arid areas around there. Asia, particularly in Mongolia, with the Met Formation. And if we are going to see India, I would stake my bet on it being in Badlands, actually. Because again, quite an arid environment, if I remember correctly.
I would
Swamps?
be implied by Badlands, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, swamps. North America, again, we could possibly go directly to the Hell Creek Formation, which was a swamp formation.
Yeah.
That would be cool if we actually went to Hell Creek proper instead of just being in North America somewhere. The Allen Formation in South America could possibly count, and some parts of the Namet Formation as well.
Yep.
All possibilities there, and also we did see a scene from Madagascar which looked like it was in the swamp with Blair's Bufo, so maybe Madagascar again.
Yeah.
Or maybe Madagascar's in swamps as opposed to in islands, who knows?
Yeah.
Oceans, I mean, that could be anywhere.
Yeah.
I would suspect stuff from Europe, the Inland Sea, and New Zealand, seeing as that tends to be their point of calls for Maastrichtian stuff in the oceans. They could, if they really wanted to go out there, do Antarctica, because we do have Maastrichtian oceanic formations from Antarctica, and they could also do Japan, which would also be very cool. In fact, that's another thing they could potentially do in islands, although I don't know whether Japan was an island at the time, because there is one. I think there's a singular dinosaurian species from Madagascar, which we know of at the moment.
Yeah.
And then North America, there are so many places they can go for Maastrichtian North America. It's probably one of the most researched periods in North American natural history.
Yeah.
Hell Creek again comes to mind, the far north of the Prince Creek, various formations in Canada, which all have slightly different biotas. You could go further south towards Mexico. You could go to the Allen. You could go to the what's it called, Ojo Alamo Formation, and do an entire section on Alamosaurus, which would be really cool because it's one of my favorite sauropods.
Indeed.
And there might even be some stuff on Appalachia. That would be really cool if we saw some stuff on Appalachia. We don't have much on Appalachia when compared to Laramidia, the other continent which formed North America at the time.
Indeed.
Although, by the Maastrichtian, they were kind of one anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some small fossils, and I think a few Tyrannosaur fossils as well, actually. So it'd be really cool to see maybe Appalachiosaurus, although is that... I can't remember if that's Maastrichtian or Campanian, but it will be cool to see regardless.
Yeah.
It also makes me wonder if our season 3 is going to continue the trend from, if there is a season 3, from the 5th episode, and we're going to get South America, Asia, Europe, potentially the southern continents, so Antarctica, and that. Also, another interesting thing to talk about is the show's depiction of Antarctica is now out of date.
Oh, because that's been discovered recently or something?
No, so, Antarctica, when they animated it, they animated it as a nodosaur or a basal ankylosaur of some descript. It's since been moved to a new southern clade which is Parankylosauria. Who has 3 species in it, one from Australia, one from Antarctica, and one from South America. The South American specimen, Stegoros, is the most complete and shows a lot of differences when compared to nodosaurs and ankylosaurs of the northern continents, which include almost like a saw tail. And a bit more of an athletic build. So yeah, despite its accuracies, it's already been, the first season has already been sort of somewhat overtaken by science.
That's just what science does.
Mental.
Yeah.
And we have already had a look at some of the species from that Maastrichtian Antarctic formation, because that's where we got our mosasaur from.
Yeah. And I just go without saying, we haven't really mentioned it, but obviously looks like it's just a straight up documentary. All looks real. Doesn't look like those dinosaurs didn't ever exist, or like that we are just filming them.
There was one scene, I think, where one of the animals looked a bit fake, but other than that, it's the same level of fidelity that the first season had.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
We'll have to wait and see what they pull out the bag, what they focus on, and what they choose to do. But you can bet that we'll be looking at it when it comes out in May.
In May.
Literally. May. Yeah, you go streaming 22nd of May.
End of May.
That's so close.
Yep. Okay.
The fact they dropped this on us like literally 2 weeks ago. Coming out in May. I love these people.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, that's for sure.
If it were not for like the Stephen Fry dinosaur documentary, I'd say we're living through a golden age. Unfortunately, the Stephen Fry dinosaur documentary also exists.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. Less said about that, the better. So yeah, we'll leave it there.
Okay, we'll leave it there.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cabincast. For more episodes, go to www.cabincast.podbean.com or use the Podbean app. You can now also find us on iTunes and Pocket Casts under Cabincast and on YouTube. The uploads here are quite behind. Finally, you can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Cabincast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.